Good day, everyone, and good day to you, sir. We are the Group 7, and we are assigned or tasked to report about the Department of Agriculture. So, our group is comprised by 5 members. First is yours truly, Marc, Allem, and Pajo. Next is Adrian PAGUD, then Beatrice TAGUPA, JECEL Angela CABULAO, and lastly is GERALD TADLE. So my assigned topic is about the brief history or background of Department of Agriculture. But before that, let me give you a brief information what is Department of Agriculture. So it is abbreviated as DA or Kagawaran ng Agrikultura. It is the executive department of the Philippine government responsible for the promotion of agricultural and fisheries development and growth. It has its headquarters at Elliptical Road Corner, Visayas Avenue, Diliman, Quezon City. So this department is currently led by the Secretary of Agriculture, of course, nominated by the President of the Philippines and confirmed by the Commission on Appointments. The Secretary is a member of the Cabinet. The current Secretary is William Dar, who assumed office on August 5, 2019. So let's move on. Let's talk about the history or the background of this department. Yeah, sure. So the Department of Agriculture was founded in 1896 and was one of the first department created by the British colonial government. So dugay na ning Department of Agriculture kay pag 1896 pa ni siya, and also one of the first department created by the British colonial government. Next is the first director of the department to be appointed was the internationally famous agriculturist Panagiotis Gennadios from Greece, and in 1913, as part of an overall governmental reorganization, the Department of Agriculture was upgraded. Then the primary objective of the Department of Agriculture was and remains to this day's rural development and the well-being of the rural population. The first important station in the history of the department coincides with the independence of Cyprus in 1960, when the department was staffed with suitable scientific personnel, while a few years later, in 1966, the Agricultural Extension Service was reorganized and to this day continues to play a vital and important role in the education of local farmers. So decisive also was role of the department in the difficult years that followed the Turkish invasion, when the Department of Agriculture made every effort to support Cypriot agriculture to achieve quick recovery. Then the department's personnel made huge effort during the negotiations in the customs union of Cyprus with the then EEC, and later during the negotiations for accession of the country into the European Union. With the accession of Cyprus to the European Union in May 2004, as was expected, the role of the Department of Agriculture changed greatly in order to meet the increased requirements of the new European environment. Thus, after accession, the Department of Agriculture not only began to implement European policy in agriculture as elaborated in the accession negotiations, but also to participate actively in its reform. In addition, in the context of the implementation of the Common Agricultural Policy or CAP, the Department of Agriculture upon accession prepared and implemented the Rural Development Plan 2004 to 2006, which sought to revive the rural economy. Through this plan, hundreds of units have improved, but also many new viable farms have been created. It should also be noted that this was the first that agri-environmental measures began to be implemented, as well as measures to support less favored areas. In total of 160 million euros was spent. Another noteworthy fact is that absorption of the community contribution has reached almost 100%. Wow. Subsequently, the department has begun to implement the Rural Development Program, or the RDP, for the period of 2007 to 2013. At the same time, since accession, the Department of Agriculture has promoted and administered a multitude of legislations arising from the acquis, such as legislation for the control of feed, agrochemicals, and many others. Regarding the department's participation in the CAP reform and of the rest of the community legislative framework and other community legislation, it should be noted that its personnel participate actively in all the EU institutions in which decisions are taken, always aiming to safeguard the interests of rural population. So sa Department of Agriculture, there are 8 paradigms. I'm not sure. Yeah, something like that. So translating the vision into reality, Department of Agriculture employs a strategy built on the 8 paradigms that makes up the new thinking of agriculture. So these are modernization of agriculture, industrialization of agriculture, promotion of exports, farm consolidation, infrastructure development, roadmap development, higher budget and investments for agriculture, and legislative support. So sa modernization of agriculture, so since ang magka-change mo jud ang atong kinabuhi. So, dapat mo adapt po sila sa modernization. And also, mo industrialize sa agriculture. Padagan man karon mga changes na diba sa mga agriculture na to karon. And also, promotion of export. Ang atong sikat nga gipang export sa mga agri-products kay like mga saging, mga uban pa, mga inana, mangga, tamis na ba mga dries fruits. Yeah. And also, farm consolidation kay ang kuan karon ang mga farms kay mo nagkaanam ng puggagmay kay kana gyud pang tukodan nagikuan. So ang kaning taga DA sila pud ang mo kanang control pinana. And then infrastructure development, then roadmap development, and higher budget and investments for agriculture. And they are also responsible para pud sa budget sa mga local farmers and also legislative support. So leading a government office with a rich and fruitful 121-year history, the Department of Agriculture is affirmative that these imperatives will pave the way to developing, strengthening, and nurturing the country's agri-fisheries sector and elevate it to greater heights. So next I will be discussing is the mandate of the Department of Agriculture. As stipulated in the Philippine Development Plan, or PDP 2017 to 2022, expanding economic opportunities in agriculture, forestry, and fisheries, the agriculture, forestry, and fisheries, or the AFF, sector is pivotal in generating employment for about a third of the country's labor force, thereby reducing poverty and inequality for 3/4 of the poor who are in the rural areas. So, wow, nice po ang kuano sa Department of Agriculture kay muhatag jud sila mga jobs sa mga rural areas kay like most especially sa kuan sa mga farmers kay we all know that the Philippines ay kanang dili pa kayo up kanang paspas ang kuan, then ang trabaho is gamay ra. So dako pug tabang ang taga DA since mohatag man pud sila mga job adto sa mga rural areas. So the AFF is also key to providing raw materials to the manufacturing and service sectors, resulting in forward linkages in terms of higher paying and more stable job opportunities. Yes. Mo provide pud ang taga AFF og mga raw materials sa mga manufacturing and service sectors. Of course, like kanang mga humay, mga kanang mga agricultural products like panggamon into bread, mga bitaw. Mana. So, wow, nice pud sila. Asa naman ko. Lidera. Intensifying efforts to revitalize the AFF and harnessing its growth potentials are needed to promote more inclusive development. Given the sector's links to agribusiness, interventions and investments will be channeled to expand existing opportunities and develop new ones, thus inducing greater participation of small farmers and fisherfolk. So the department is the government agencies responsible for the promotion of agricultural development by providing the policy framework, public investments, and support services needed for domestic and export-oriented business enterprises. So muna siya, remember, ang kaningang Department of Agriculture is responsible sa pag-promote sa agricultural development and also mo provide sa mga policy framework kay kanang mga kanang sa for example sa bugas, 'di ba mo mahal pud na 'di ba? So sila ang responsible pud na sa pag-implement sa policy. Then public investments and support services kay naapoy some part sa mga farmers nga need pud silang support. So the DA envisions a food-secure Philippines with prosperous farmers and fishers. It shall collectively empower them and the private sector to increase agricultural productivity and profitability, taking into account sustainable, competitive, and resilient technologies and practices. Hence, its battle cry is simply, masaganang ani at mataas na kita. And that would be all my report, and the continuation will be reported by the next reporter, of course, which is ADRIAN PAGUD. Thank you for listening, and I hope you'll learn something about my report. Thank you. Bye.
So, good afternoon, everyone. So, I will be continuing uh, the report about the Department of Agriculture. So, this is the organizational chart of the Department of Agriculture. Here are also the attached agencies, which are the Agriculture Credit and Policy Council, the Fertilizer and Pesticide Authority, the Philippine Fiber Industry Development Authority, the Philippine Council for Agriculture and Fisheries, National Meat Inspection Service, Philippine Carabao Center, and Philippine Center for Post-Harvest Development and Mechanization. So those are the 7 attached agencies. So under the Office of the Secretary is also the Internal Audit Service, which we can find the Operations Audit Division and Management Audit Division. Planning and Monitoring Service is also under the Office of the Secretary, which you can find the Division of Planning and Programming, Investment Programming, and Monitoring and Evaluation. The Policy Research Service, which you can find the Division of Macroeconomics Policy, the Food, Agriculture, and Fisheries Policy, and the Internal Affairs Division. Next is the Project Development Service, which is also under the Office of the Secretary, the Project Identification and Evaluation Division, Project Packaging and Resource Mobilization Division, and the Central Agriculture Fishery Engineering Division. Another one is the Field Operations Service, which is the Field Programs Operational Planning Division, Field Programs Coordination and Monitoring Division, and the Special Projects Coordination and Management Assistance Division. Agribusiness and Marketing Assistance Service, where you can find here are the Market Development Division, Agribusiness and Investment Promotion Division, Agribusiness Industries, and Agribusiness Industry Support Division. Next is the Administrative Service, which you can find here the Personnel, the Human Resource Development, the General Services, the Procurement, Agriculture and Fisheries Information, and the Records Division. So you can find there a lot of divisions in the administrative service. So next is the Financial and Management Service. So you can find here the Management Division, the Budget Division, and Accounting Division. Next is the Legal Service, which includes the Research and Regulation Division, Litigation and Adjudication Division. Next is the Information and Communications Technology Service. Here you can find the ICT Planning and Standards Division, Systems and Application Development Division, Database Management Division, and the Network Operations and Management Division. So as you can see, the Bureau of Animals Industry, the Bureau of Plant Industry, the Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Engineering, Agriculture Training Institute, the Bureau of Agriculture and Fisheries Standards, Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, the Bureau of Agricultural Research, Bureau of Soils and Water Management is also under the Office of the Secretary. And lastly, the 15 regional field offices or RFOs is also under the Office of the Secretary. So this is the organizational chart of the Department of Agriculture. So if you are looking for for the right personnels to approach, determine it first, which division he or she they belong, and go and go go where it is under the agribusiness and marketing assistance service. Is it planning and monitoring service? Is it under the policy research service? Is it under the project development service? Under the field operation service? Under the administration service, financial and management service, legal service, information and communications technology service? So you should first determine what kind of problems are you facing before going or before going to their offices, so that they can provide you with the right answers. So next is the functions of the Department of Agriculture. So the functions of the Department of Agriculture is to promote agricultural development by providing the policy framework, uh, support services needed for domestic and export oriented business enterprises, and also the public investments. So it is the primary concern of the department to improve farm income and generate work opportunities for farmers, fishermen, and other rural workers. It shall encourage people's participation in agricultural development through sectoral representation in agricultural policy making bodies, so that the policies, plans, and programs of the department are formulated and executed to satisfy their needs. So the Department of Agriculture is trying to encourage us people to engage in agriculture, because uh, the Department of Agriculture are lacking manpower, especially farmers, which are actually declining in the numbers of people, because a lot of people now are um, are into working in offices, or any other where, except farming, because as we can see, farming is very farming really needs a person who is hardworking, and as we can see, and they and the perceptions of the people of being a farmer is that farmers are very are poor, which we should um, we should avoid that way of thinking, because without the farmers, uh, we cannot uh, we cannot we cannot live, because the farmers sustain our food. Because of them, we because of them we are able to work and generate and our generate and generate their desired outputs. So again, we should avoid thinking that farmers are are poor people, because without them, we cannot survive in this world. And farming isn't is really is we should really encourage people to pursue on agriculture, for us to not for us to avoid hunger and shortage of resources, because the population here in our country, or even in our world, is increasing, while our farmers are decreasing. So that is a big no. So that is a big no. So the Department of Agricultural Central Office is primarily responsible for the planning, formulation, the execution, the regulation and monitoring of programs and activities relating to agriculture, food production, and supply. It promulgates and enforces all laws, rules, and regulations governing the conservation and proper utilization of agriculture and fishery resources. So frontline services and or regulatory functions such as issuance of permits, licenses, certifications, and other related activities are being provided and implemented by concerned bureaus and regional field units under the Department of Agriculture. So the performance or service pledge. So we, the officials and employees of the Department of Agriculture, Office of the Secretary, with the guidance of God Almighty, do hereby pledge to serve promptly, efficiently, courteously, justly, and with no impartiality from Mondays to Fridays starting at 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Enforce strict compliance with service standards as embodied under RA 9485 and the guiding principles of RA 6713. A responsiveness to the needs of the farmers, fisher folks, stakeholders, as well as the transacting public. Value every citizen's comments, suggestions, and needs, especially the poor, the underprivileged, and those with special needs such as the disabled and the elderly. Initiate immediate action in rendering technical and support assistance to clienteles. Committed to serve with public and integrity dedication. Ensure the public with accurate information through 24/7 access on DA's policies, programs, activities through DA website, which is the www.da.gov.ph. All these they pledge because we are their priority. So uh, those are the I so those are their meanings towards their service. So yeah, that's all. Thank you.
So this is the continuation of the topic of PAGUD. So the regional field of offices of Department of Agriculture, BERMM, CAR, Region 1, Region 2, Region 3, Region 4A, Region 4B, Region 5, Region 6, Region 7, Region 8, Region 9, Region 10, Region 11, Region 12, Region 13. The agencies of Department of Agriculture: Agricultural Credit Policy Council, Fertilizer and Pesticides Authority, National Fisheries Research and Development Institute, National Meat Inspection Service, Philippine Carabao Center, Philippine Center for Post-Harvest Development and Botanical, Philippine Council for Agriculture and Fisheries, Philippine Fiber Industry Development Authority, Philippine Rubber Research Institute. Bureaus of Department of Agriculture: Agricultural Training Institute, Bureau of Agricultural Research, Bureau of Agricultural Fisheries Engineering, Bureau of Agricultural and Fisheries Standards, Bureau of Animal Industry, Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, Bureau of Plant Industry, Bureau of Soils and Water Management. Corporations: National Dairy Authority, National Food Authority, National Tobacco Administration, Philippine Coconut Authority, Philippine Crop Insurance Corporation, Philippine Fisheries Development Authority, Philippine Rice Research Institute, Sugar Regulatory Administration. Services: Accreditation of civil society organizations, implementing guidelines and insurances, advisory and accreditation of civil society organization, list of accredited civil society organization, national level, list of accredited civil society organization, regional level, accreditation of cold storage warehouse, accreditation, licensing, registration, and other related services, agribusiness and marketing assistance, agricultural credit and financing programs, agricultural and fisheries information services, regional operations monitoring services, solid and water services, special projects coordination and management assistance, training and extension services. So that's all about.
Good day, everyone. I am CABULAO JECEL Angela C., the fourth reporter of Group 7. So, transparency. A pearl buried inside a tightly shut shell is practically worthless. Government information is pearl meant to be shared with the public in order to maximize its inherent value. The transparency seal, depicted by a pearl shining out of an open shell, is a symbol of a policy shift toward openness and access to government information. So, in other hand, it hopes to inspire Filipinos in the civil service to be more open to citizen engagement, and also to invite the Filipino citizenry to exercise their rights to participate in governance. So, this initiative is envisioned as a step in the right direction towards solidifying the position of the Philippines as the Pearl of the Orient, a shining example for democratic virtue in the region. So, National Budget Circular 542, issued by the Department of Budget and Management on August 29, 2012, reiterates compliance with Section 93 of the General Appropriation Act of Fiscal Year 2012. So Section 93 is the transparency seal provision with to enhance transparency and enforce accountability, all national government agencies shall maintain a transparency seal on their official websites. The transparency seal shall contain the following information. So first is the agency mandates and the functions, names and its official with their position and designation, and contact information. The second is the annual reports as required under the National Budget Circular number 507 and 507, data January 31, 2007 and June 12, 2007. So respectively for the last 3 years. Third, the respective approved budget and corresponding targets immediately upon approval of this act. The fourth is the major programs and projects categorized in accordance with the 5 key results areas under Executive Order number 43, 2011. The fifth is the program project beneficiaries as identified in the applicable special provision. The 6th is the status implementation and program project evaluation and or assessment reports. And the 7th is the annual procurement plan contract awarded and the name of the contractor, supplier, and consultants. So, the compliance with the Section 106 Transparency Seal, RA number 11260, General Appropriation Act 2019. So 1 is the agency mandates and functions, names of its official with their position and designation, and the contact information again. So A is the agency mandates and functions. So the mandate and the staff offices function. B, position designation and contact information. So it involves the official and the OSEC offices. Second is the annual financial reports. A, number 1, statement of appropriation, allotment, obligation, disbursement, and balances. So what are the difference between appropriation and allotments? So appropriation represent the level of authority given by the government to its agencies specified in certain amounts and purpose, usually corresponding to what has been proposed by the agencies as its annual budget. While allotment represents the amounts already released by the DBM to the agency out of the appropriation. So as you can see, it starts with 2016 to 2020. B is the summary report on disbursement. C is the number 1, quarterly physical report of operation or the physical plan. D is the quarterly report on revenue and other receipt. E, financial plan, detailed statement of current year obligation, disbursement, and unpaid obligations. So, the third is the DBM approved budget and corresponding targets for fiscal year 2020. So, it involves the budget for fiscal year 2020 and the GAA performance target for fiscal year 2020. The fourth is the project program and activities, beneficiaries, and status of implementation for fiscal year 2020. The fifth is the annual procurement plan. The sixth is the QMS certification of at least one core process of an international certifying body or ICBM. So the seventh is the system of ranking delivery units for fiscal year 2020 PBB. The eighth is the agency review and compliance procurement of statement and financial disclosure. The ninth is the freedom of information, and the 10th is the certificate of compliance, and the ease of doing business and efficient government services delivery Act of 2018. So that's all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. God bless. Stay safe.
Good evening, sir. I will discuss about the extension program, project, and partnership. To ensure that the farmer and project are able to maximize the services and to uplift their condition, we need to continue to explore areas of collaboration and partnership with the extension initiative. So, in the extension program, project, and partnership, in that part, kinaarangan ang mga farmers ma-maximize ang services to uplift their condition. And then, first, I will discuss the programs. Number 1 is ang ating gulayan ng DA.
In Labor Day, trust of ensuring food security and poverty alleviation, we aim to showcase urban and sustainable agriculture technology through edible landscaping. So, in the ating gulayan ng day, ana na to makita nga kanang mostly sa mga farmers may panghatag ng mga seeds gikan sa agriculture, free seeds kay para patanom. The number 2 is the ladderized approach to ATC extension services. So, I will discuss first the level 1, learning sites for practical agriculture 1 or LSPA 1. So, in part 1, in level 1, as a part of our ladderized approach to extension services, we support the development of rural farm by certifying them as a model site that serves as a demonstration area for hands-on learning. So in level 1, support the development of rural farm by certifying them as a model site or encourage ang mga farmers. Then in level 2, we support the further development of LSP 1 farm to the next level. So in level 1, encourage ang mga farmers. Then in level 2, dili lang kay ana ra tama ng mga farmers, kundi gitagaan sad sila og mga services like advisory services, demonstration services, information services, and training services. Then kay para dili lang sila nataman, mas mulambo pang ilang mga attitude, skills at knowledge among farmers and fishers. Then in the level 3, the private extension services provider, we created organization to become the PESPS that serve as our partner in the provision. So, the partner nila ang private extension services provider. Then next, number 4 is the farm tourist site. So, in line with the Republic Act 10816 or the Farm Tourist Act of 2016, we assist our LSP 1 and 2 and PS Farm to meet the requirements of the Department of Tourism for accreditation as FTS. So the farm tourism site, so we assist LSP 1 and 2 OPS the farm to the requirements, so na-combine sila. The number 5 is the Big Brother Small Brother Extinction Partnership SIM on 5 reason. So we strengthen the competencies of our dynamic line system through continuous training and education support program for rural improvement, club for each volunteer association of the Philippines, and etc. So in the Big Brother Small Brother Extension Partnership and Farmer Tourism, so mas palambo ang competency sa dynamic line system through continuous training. So na ay mga training pinagi sa support sa nakalain-lain like Rural Improvement Club, Nagsasaka ng Pilipinas, Mangbabaon. The number 7 is the Assessment Center in partnership with the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority or TESDA. So in the Assessment Center, ang Department of Agriculture na sila nagkuha sila o program at TESDA, din adto makita na to ang mga farmers fisheries na and said to program din ang training nga gi-offer dito is more about on agriculture and animal production. Okay, that's all about for the program. Next is the partnership and project. Number 1 is Malitubog Maridagao Irrigation Project. In partnership with National Irrigation Association, we provide training and technical assistance on sustainable rice production to members of irrigator station in autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao and Region 7. So, in partnership and project number 1, so mostly atong makita kasagaran sa mga basakan nga lami og ani it's or sa mga farm na mga about it's because of the na someone o siya naghatag og supply o tubig. The next is the BEATRICE initiative in Asia. We provide training on value chain basic agriculture, specific farmer techniques and enhanced method and training delivered to agricultural extension worker and lead farmer in Iloilo, Aurora, and Southern Leyte. So in the BEATRICE initiative in Asia, na-provide sila og training on chains, basic agriculture, and rice-specific farming techniques. The number 3 is the weather index-based insurance. So strengthening the capacity of our farmers and farmer association to increase resilience for agriculture production. So in the weather index-based insurance, ipakadakan niyo po ng capacity sa mga farmers to increase resiliency of agriculture production. May na-provide sila o mga training. Number 4, the Asian Sectoral Group on Agriculture Training and Extension in contribution to the total development of human capital in the agriculture and fisheries sector. We provide training and extension in craft, fisheries, and livestock, as well as disseminating technology in various commodities. So, nagyapon sila kanang mga training na provide sila mga training extension sa mga craft, fisheries, and livestock. Then lastly is the project for strengthening capability building agri sector in Asian countries, phase 2. So enhance the capabilities of agriculture, leading practitioner, and official in Asian